Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Generative AI series. In today's session, we're diving into how you can enhance your Python console application. We started last week, and by transitioning into a user-friendly graphical interface. And we're going to be using ChatGPT's response to our prompt as part of our ongoing project. Okay, it's the Laundry Budget Pro app, and we'll take what we've built so far and give it a fresh interactive look. Let's get started. All right, so let's see. We want to recap from last week. To quickly recap, Laundry Budget Pro is a budget planning tool for families. Its current form, it's a console application that takes the following inputs: the family size, the loads per person per week, the total weekly budget, the cost to dry a load, the cost to wash a load, and then it'll calculate the savings that's remaining after the laundry has been done for the week, and then the time needed to save for a new washer and dryer based on, their cost and weekly savings. Now, let's make this application more engaging. We're going to put in a graphical user interface using Python. We got step-by-step tutorial here from ChatGPT. So the first thing we want to do is we're selecting the GUI framework. So there's some options. We got Tkinter, PyQt, and Kiwi. For simplicity, we're going to use Tkinter. Okay, and I've used Tkinter in a lot of apps, so this is going to be good for me. As far as like testing and being able to like give some constructive criticism about what ChatGPT is providing to us. All right, and so let's plan the interface layout. So we'll design the layout with input fields for for all the inputs, a button to calculate the results, and the display area for the outputs showing savings. And let's just go ahead and look at what we have so far and run it. Well, not that. Let's. Oh, sorry. Let's go ahead and go to replit. All right. If you can see my screen, let me make it a little bit bigger. This is the main.py that we did last time, where we have a function called calculate laundry budget with a wash cost, a dry cost, a budget, loads per person, a goal amount, and a family size. So those are all inputs that are being brought into this function that we're going to need to make our calculations work. Well, at least for this function, right? So what it does is it calculates the total cost per load by adding the wash and the dry cycles, and then it's going to figure out the loads per week by multiplying the family size and the loads per person. And so then we'll take the total cost, total weekly cost, and we're going to multiply it by the cost per load. That gives us the total weekly cost. And then we'll figure out the savings budget. We're going to take that budget that's given, and then we're going to subtract the total weekly cost and see what we have left over. Whatever we have left over, that's going to be the savings budget. Okay. And then if the total weekly cost is less than the budget, as long as the total weekly cost is less than the budget, we're going to be good. We're going to be able to have some savings, right? Savings per week is going to be the savings budget. Otherwise, then we're not going to have any savings, right? So we're going to have hopefully enough of a budget given. If not, it will tell you and it'll say the savings budget is zero, so you're never going to be able to get a new washer and dryer if you don't have any savings budget, right? So the goal is to fix the inputs to where you get some savings so you can have a final calculation of how long it's going to take you to actually get to purchase your washer and dryer. Now I think we had some things hard coded in there, so we didn't calculate. We just kind of figured the calculation based on, you know, my family size and a fictitious budget or whatever. And so we found out that yeah, we had enough, and it was going to take us roughly about 26, 27 weeks to save up, which is only like 6 months, right? You save up for 6 months, and then you have your own washer and dryer, and that way you save money by only having to do, maybe a elevated electric cost and water, depending if you have those expenses anyway, right? So let's just continue right along. And the step 3 is to initialize the Tkinter window. So the first thing in our Python, we're going to import the Tkinter as TK. So let's just go ahead and copy this code, and then we're going to create a main window, the TK, that we, this TK, this little TK, is a short or nickname, alias as they call it, and that lets us call on the Tkinter app without, like writing Tkinter every time. So we can just abbreviate it like TK instead of having to say Tkinter every time we want to use the Tkinter app. Okay, so then we're going to set the title to be the Laundry Budget Pro. So let's go ahead and do that. Since I already copied that, and we're going to go over to our Laundry Budget Pro, and we're going to go to the top of our app, line 1, and we're going to just insert that with a Control V. All right, now see, ChatGPT, not ChatGPT, but IntelliSense that's written into the replit.com is already trying to set up the dimensions of the window by using the root.geometry. So this is just a suggestion. As you can see, it's not dark, but it's kind of like lightly colored text. So if I move away from this move my cursor, I'm not going to see that suggestion anymore. But as soon as I put it on line 6, it's probably going to give me a suggestion or something to that effect. You see? Okay, so it comes back. The suggestion comes back because IntelliSense is working. Now, IntelliSense has already been around for a while, as far as AI is concerned and trying to help you in your coding journey. So this is a feature that's already, even before ChatGPT, even before generative AI. So this has been a very powerful feature that's usually helpful. But it's trying to give you some suggestion on what you should do next. But we're gonna follow the steps from ChatGPT. So let's just go back to our ChatGPT screen and see what else we have to do next. That's step 3. This gives us the blank canvas for our application. And we have to keep on going, right? Because we don't want a blank canvas. We're gonna have to add the input fields and the labels. So we'll go ahead and copy this over. And so what this does is it's gonna put on a label called family size, and it's gonna be on a grid. So this dot grid means we're gonna have a grid type of layout with row 0, column 0. So basically at the top, and the family size entry is gonna be like a little entry widget, and the family size entry widget is going to be a grid, and it's going to be located in column 1, so like right next to the label. So you're going to have a label that says family size, and then you're going to have a actual grid on the next. You're going to have an entry where you can actually type in the amount that you want. Okay, so that is the next one thing that we're gonna do. Then after that, we're gonna have another label that says loads per person per week, right? And that's gonna be a grid on row 1. So then the next row down, and column 0, we're gonna have that loads per person per week, and then we're gonna have the loads entry widget, which is gonna allow us to put in that amount. Okay. All right. So maybe later on we can figure out how to put defaults and stuff like that. If we want to put a default value or what have you, that's kind of like maybe be a placeholder, things of that nature. But we're just gonna go with what ChatGPT suggested. We're not gonna do all the bells and whistles at this point. Okay. Then it says repeat for the other inputs. Okay. So we're gonna have to figure out all those inputs. We could do that together. Pretty much doing a copy and paste and then change the names of the label and the entry widget, right? Okay, so after that, step 5, we're going to add a button for the calculation. We'll create a button that triggers the calculation when it's clicked. And basically, that's going to be a calculate function that has a family size variable and takes the integer version of the family size entry dot get. So basically what it's going to do is going to get that value from the family size entry widget from the input, and it's going to change it into a number. Okay, int means int or integer, and so it's going to change that, and then it's going to do the same thing for loads per person. So that way it's going to be able to calculate everything. Now the button is going to say calculate on it, and what you see there next to command is the calculate. So basically it's going to call the calculate function and put it on grid row 5, column 0, column span 2. So it's going to be wide enough to go across two spans. Okay, then we'll display the results. We'll add the area for the results and stuff like that. Like also put in the grid, this is row 6. It's going to be an output label, and then we're going to configure the savings. Like all of this stuff, we're going to put part 3. So basically all I'm going to do really at this point is copy and paste it. Okay. Most of this stuff are comments. If you see the stars and it's in green, these are comments, and some of this we do not need in our code. So I don't know why ChatGPT decided to put all of this that's not part of the code into this part, but we're gonna figure it out nonetheless. Okay, because these are instructions and these are results, so we don't really need to. Okay, so it's already talking about adding enhancements like voice and stuff like that, but we're gonna work on that. But for right now, I think all we really need at this point is the output. Let's start down here and then bring it up. Uh-oh. Let's bring it back down. I did copy the code. Okay, well, yeah, I could just copy the code and then we'll just cut out the stuff that's extra. Okay, so let's just do that. Let's go back to the code, and I don't know where I want to throw it in at. Let's see. Let's do it after the let's see. I just don't want to mix it all into everything, but we can put it after this function or before it. Let's do it before the calculate laundry budget function. Okay. So right where the cursor is at, I'm gonna move it down to line 7, and we're gonna hit Control V. All right. We already have import to Kinter as TK, so we don't need this again. We can delete this. Alright, and then we already have this Laundry Budget Pro title and everything, so we could delete that. Okay, calculate laundry budget. Now, Do we already have calculate laundry budget? Oh, okay. Okay, so it looks like I didn't actually copy anything. It didn't copy over. So let's try this again. Or maybe I copied the wrong thing. Okay, let's copy. And because this part should be the label. Yeah, it should be the label and everything else. So let's go back and let's try this again. Starting from the label. Okay, that's better. So you see how it's purple and it's highlighted? That's stuff we don't need because of the fact that it's just text from the instructions. So not really sure why ChatGPT added all this stuff, but we're gonna go all the way up to here, delete that. Um, the time to save and the savings, we definitely need that. Output label configuration. We need a savings. I think savings is not defined, so we need a savings variable. So that's what it's telling us we need. So let me delete this. Display results. Step 6. And let's delete all this. This is a comment. Multi-line comments start with the, well, these are backticks. So that's really a different type of comment structure. So we're going to delete all this to purple. We don't need that. And we'll repeat for other inputs. Okay, yeah, we definitely need to do the other inputs. But before we get any further along, let's just see what's happening here. When we run the code. In the console, it'll still do the console output, but now we should see an output window come up. Now, as you can see, it's blacked out. So there's some stuff that we're missing, and I think it's mostly because of the time to save and the savings variable that's missing. So let's see. Savings, time to save. Code repair suggestion. We're gonna do output label config. Oh, it says basically comment it out. That's what it's telling. That's what it suggested us to do. Well, we'll fix that in just a minute. Let's see if we can get it to output something. Okay, we did get the maximum number of loads and the savings budget, and then the weeks to save was 26. So that did come out, and let's see. Okay, we still don't have anything coming from our widget, but at least we know that it wants to do something because our output window come up, and we're gonna see what we need to do. Do we need to make it display? I think we do. So let's go back to ChatGPT and see what ChatGPT has to say. Okay, so let's see. ChatGPT, what is the code to display the GUI in Tkinter? Okay, so let's see what it says. Below is the basic code to display the GUI for the Laundry Pro app. Using Tkinter, it includes input fields, a button to trigger, and a placeholder for output display. Um, okay, as you can see, there's now a configuration for the savings remaining. There's a value error, so there's some error checking, and then you have the TK button. Ah, see, here it is. This is what was missing, root.main loop for it to actually start. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this instead. I think this is more complete. So we just start import to Kinter. We'll just replace everything that we have with this code. So copy it, and let's just go back to the code, and then we'll just go ahead and select all, Control V, and run. Let's see what happens now. Alright, nothing in the console. Oh, but now we have the Laundry Budget Pro app. Do you see the graphical user interface here? This is cool. Let's see. I was trying to see if I can make it a little bit bigger, but it's not allowing me to. I can maximize the pane. I don't know how big that's going to be, but let's do that. Okay. Well, we can do that. But it doesn't make this text bigger, so that doesn't matter. Let's just keep it same size. And well, there it is. Okay. So now that we have that, we can minimize that back and see that we have what looks like a graphical user interface. I think that's a good start. What do you think? Right now, we can probably add stuff. Let me see. Family size. Say the family size is 3. The lowest per person is 1. Same as last week. We're gonna do the total budget is 55. We're gonna say total cost to wash is $1.75, and then the cost to dry was $1.50. And let's calculate. Okay, well, some of our information is cut off. So we might have to configure the window to be a little bit bigger. It says the savings remaining was 45.25, which is good, and the time to save the appliances is down there. So the only thing we have to do now is make the window a little bit bigger. Let's see. Oh, okay. So